Alright, well, it was fun showing you around last time, but we've got some work to do today. Well, I guess tomorrow. So I like this starter base quite a bit. It's serviced me a lot in all the projects that I've done so far, but we are definitely going to need something bigger. So we're not necessarily saying goodbye to this area, but what that does mean is that we're going to pick a new location and we're going to put some farms down. And actually, I've already chosen that area, and it is just over here. So in this biome here, this plains, this is going to be where we're going to build like a huge city. The timeline on that is totally up in the air. There's a lot of work that needs to be done before we even begin building. We got to plan roads, we got to plan districts. These waterways are going to have to be completely retooled, and we've also got some pretty big builds planned, so for us to use this area, we're going to have to kind of cater it to what we need. And of course, lots of terraforming. But here we are in my new industrial district, I guess you could call it. People call the collection of their Minecraft farms industrial districts all the time. It's kind of been a thing that we say now. But I'm actually going to take that term a bit more literally here. And my idea, if we go to the drone, I want to take these farms. I mean, I'm going to have a bunch of them. Essentially, this whole area here, I think, is what I'm kind of looking for. And essentially, this is going to be a giant factory. It's going to go deep underground, probably, 20 meters or so. I'm not quite sure. But the idea is to, have these machines talk to each other, send resources back and forth, just be really fun to use. Like I said in my last episode, I'm not entirely about peak efficiency. I mean, there are some farms that are just inherently efficient. So I want kind of an interactive experience where you have to have user input in some way to run the factory, but there's a lot of automated processes that just happen. So for example, I've got these little bamboo things. I'll definitely either find a more efficient farm or just duplicate this a few more times vertically. But essentially, I'd like to be able to take bamboo and then using the new auto crafter, we can make planks out of it. We can do all sorts of things, but we could also have levers. So for example, say I had a smelter here and I wanted to add fuel to it. Of course I could do a lava farm, which I still probably will do, have some sort of lava distribution. But say I wanted to pull fuel from the bamboo farms. So, I would pull a lever and bamboo would come out of a chute or whatever and start funneling into the smelter. And I can shut that off when I'm done filling the fuel. I don't have to keep it going all the time. People build smelters where they just have a fuel source constantly like piling up fuel, and when you run both farms, they kind of perpetually run together. I like that idea. I think that's super efficient. That's awesome. But like I said earlier, I kind of want to complicate things and make it just more interactive and fun. So, for example, I will take the drone here and show you guys the dirt to clay converter by Strom. And I utilized the schematic from Ohiocraft provided in his tutorial video on how to build this farm. Super great. It's a 1-to-1. You put the dirt down and it turns it into mud, turns it into clay, and then this row of pistons will shove it through the whole system. And by the time, if I'm constantly running, by the time the mud would reach all the way over to the collection system, it's had enough time to dry out. So typically this thing just kind of sits here, and all of the clay that actually primes this system, because you need a lot of it to actually get to the end to start blowing up. I had to use a lot of dirt to prime this system. But yeah, it's really cool because the stopgap here is that I, by hand, have to place these dirt blocks. There's nothing in Java Minecraft vanilla that I could just get this block placed automatically. I wanted to celebrate the necessity of the player input for that farm. And yeah, I just like using it. And this thing here is my little tree gathering device. I don't know if this is going to stick around. I know there's been talk about people maybe selling wood in the future, so I might just depend on that. I don't want to deal with wood, but... And I guess this will have to serve as some sort of disclaimer for you vanilla purists out there. Ohiocraft, we utilize vanilla tweaks, and we like quite a few of them. They make the game a lot more accessible in different ways. And, you know, we have people playing at all sorts of different levels of investment in this game. So not everyone is going to just make a farm for everything they need and be self-sufficient. We can utilize the economy, sell things to each other, and people won't have to bother with certain aspects. Maybe they're a builder and don't want to chop down wood all the time for their build. If they have a hustle or they have a lot of diamonds, they can buy the wood they need and focus on the stuff they need for their builds outside of raw materials that just take forever to farm. And let's be honest, do we really need 10 people with tree farms? I don't know, that just seems like a lot of wasted effort. But I digress. I want to show you how this works because this is super cool. Okay, so this tweak is called timber, and essentially what it does is you plant your tree and you bone meal it. Well, okay, you don't have to do that step. You can do it on normal trees, but essentially, if you just take your axe and you smack the bottom of the tree... Yeah, am I right? And I get what you may be thinking, like, that seems super cheaty. I mean, it is. But you know what I mean? Like, that's just how we want to play the game. We've done many seasons without this tweak. This tweak hasn't been official for super long, so... But I know it's existed for a while. Okay. Yep, here we are. If I just go to my toolbox here and pull this bad boy out, depending on if you have Silk Touch or Fortune on your axe will change the behavior of the tweak. So if we grow this dark oak tree again, and I don't know if you guys know this, but it's really hard to go neutral on sapling drops for dark oak trees. They don't grow a lot of leaves, and if you don't have Fortune to break the blocks, or even if that works, I actually don't know. But sometimes it's hard to get another full tree because this tree needs a 2x2. But if we have our lumbering axe here, I have put Fortune 3 on it. If we smack this, instead of the leaf blocks dropping, it'll drop saplings with that same looting effect applied to it. So that's why on the last tree I got Silk Touch. I got leaves from it instead of saplings, so that's pretty cool. But you have to be careful not to just smack all your trees with Silk Touch, because you won't get any more saplings to replenish it. So, but to be honest, even doing this, I don't care for. I'd much rather buy it. My goal with this area ultimately is to be able to make and supply a lot of base building blocks for builders. I want to have a store that sells bricks of all kinds, like raw materials, organize them in certain ways, like a depot would kind of be. But that's kind of far in the future as far as actually selling the stuff, because I need a way to produce it. I want to sell concrete. I want to do different colored terracottas, make a deal with someone else on the server who is potentially selling dyes. You know, I could make a deal with them. You know, the possibilities are endless. You know, especially having friends with different interests. People joining really the server. Anyway, I've rambled on about this place a lot. I think I'm just going to get some work done on it, and unfortunately I still don't have replay mod set up, so I don't have a time lapse, but this area is going to look a lot different the next time we speak. So I'm going to continue this road over here with some interesting bridges, and it'll come up into this area. Essentially, the city's property line starts here. And I know what you're thinking. This area is absolutely massive. And, you know, I would agree with that. So if we look at the map, we have all of this land to work with. So I'm not really concerned about space. This is sort of like the city outer limits. So it's not going to be super developed. Mainly we're going to be working with this central area over here. That's where the majority of the city is going to be, at least starting out. Developing this whole area would be really cool. And I need to get started on placing our main street. So Main Street's going to kind of go east-west across the expanse, and then we'll eventually have a north-south as well, and sort of build a city around that. So I'm not going to try to overcomplicate the roads. I really want that to be as low effort as possible so we can really build some cool stuff here and not be worried about infrastructure all the time. So yeah, I'm going to start placing some blocks, and we'll have somewhat of an idea of where this road's going to go. Oh man, I miss Swiss Sneak. Why am I so dumb? I died while I was working on a project, and because I went AFK, and normally I log off the game when I go AFK, but this time I didn't. And the one time you don't, you die and lose all your stuff and come back to a death screen. It's great. But yeah, the job site's not lit up yet, so that's just gonna happen. It was just a silly mistake. Okay, so as the road crosses this river onto this landmass is when we're going to start to get into some city block structure. So this road's going to come in, and then, yeah, we've got all this flat land over here, and it's going to be a lot of blocks, a lot of work. So I might need some help. But yeah, we'll drive this road straight down Main Street of this village, and yeah, we'll celebrate this a bit. We're not just going to delete it. We'll use it in some creative way. Depending on how interesting some of this terrain is, we'll keep some of it. Like, I really like this. I think we can use this. I actually might have to do something with this weird water stuff, but yeah, I think it'll be cool. Alright guys, well, I think that's enough for today's video, but we've got a lot more in store for the next one. And I'm going to try my best to get this one out quicker than this one did. At the time of recording this, replay mod was updated, so we'll be using that once again moving forward. But before we leave, I just wanted to show you this. These are sort of the blocks that I intend on the factory producing for me, so there's a lot to be done. And I'll be doing some design builds to fill the factory out with the farms that I need in this world, so I just wanted to leave you guys with this little teaser of some of the things that I'm working on. Mainly this bad boy up here. This one's going to be interesting. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.